Your brain is a 3-pound jelly of electricity, trying its best to pretend it knows what's going on. It runs your personality, your dreams, your Spotify playlist, and your questionable 3 a.m. thoughts. But sometimes this biological software starts to glitch, not because it's broken, but because it's trying too hard to protect you. Mental disorders aren't character flaws, they're the side effects of the brain being too human. So let's take a walk through the mind's labyrinth, the 12 rooms where things get weird, fascinating, and very, very real. 1. Anxiety disorder, the alarm that never sleeps. Anxiety is your brain's overprotective security system. It's meant to alert you to danger, but somewhere along the evolutionary line, it started screaming over spilled coffee. It floods you with adrenaline for events like public speaking or sending an email. The brain says, "We're being hunted," while your body just wants to order lunch. The cruel irony? The more you try to ignore it, the louder it gets. Anxiety doesn't want to ruin your life. It just doesn't know the difference between a lion attack and a Wi-Fi outage. 2. Depression, the mind's power save mode. Depression isn't just sadness, it's like your brain pressed the mute button on everything. Food, meh. Music, may. Life, double may. It's a shutdown, a biological defense mechanism from ancient times meant to conserve energy when the world felt hopeless. But in the modern world, there's no saber-toothed tiger, just the endless scroll of social media and emotional exhaustion. Depression whispers lies in your own voice, and fighting it isn't about cheering up. It's about rewiring the system, teaching your brain that joy isn't extinct. 3. OCD, the looping playlist from hell. Obsessive-compulsive disorder is what happens when your brain's safety check system starts running on repeat. Did I lock the door? Yes. Did I really? Still yes. Better check again. And there goes your evening. OCD isn't about neatness. It's about control. The brain tries to manage fear by creating rituals, like a superstitious programmer trying to debug life. The tragedy? The rituals never actually help, but the brain keeps insisting one more time, just to be sure. 4. ADHD, inside one head. ADHD brains don't have a focus problem. They have too much focus, spread across 87 tabs. It's like your mind is a browser with 10,000 notifications. You're creative, curious, spontaneous, and occasionally forget your own birthday. The dopamine system is the real culprit. It struggles to reward routine tasks, making boredom feel physically painful. But when interest strikes, you enter hyper-focus mode, like a superhero who suddenly remembers their powers mid-chaos. ADHD isn't laziness. It's the brain's refusal to play by boring rules. 5. Bipolar disorder, the emotional roller coaster with no brakes. Imagine your mood being a stock market, soaring one day, crashing the next. That's bipolar disorder. In manic phases, you're invincible. Ideas explode, sleep feels optional, and life sparkles in 4K. Then, without warning, everything deflates. The world grays out, motivation evaporates, and even brushing your teeth feels Olympic. It's not moodiness, it's a neurological pendulum swing. The brain's energy regulation system can't decide if it's on espresso or battery saver. But with awareness and care, bipolar people often channel that intensity into brilliance, creativity forged from chaos. 6. Schizophrenia, when reality gets glitchy. Schizophrenia isn't split personality. It's the brain mixing up the source of information, like hearing your own thoughts but thinking they're from outside. Hallucinations, delusions, disorganized speech. It's reality rendered with unstable Wi-Fi. The brain's filter between me and not me breaks down, and that's terrifying. Yet behind the disorder lies a mind perceiving the world in vivid, alien ways. Not broken, just tuned to a frequency most can't hear. Treatment doesn't erase the person. It helps them rebuild the bridge between self and world. 7. PTSD, the ghost of survival. Post-traumatic stress disorder is your brain replaying past horrors like a director who won't stop yelling, "Cut!" It's not weakness, it's a survival system stuck in replay mode. The amygdala, your fear center, keeps firing alarms long after the danger's gone, while the hippocampus struggles to file the memory away. Flashbacks, hypervigilance, nightmares, all symptoms of a brain that loved you too much to forget. Healing isn't about erasing the trauma, it's teaching the brain it doesn't need to stand guard 24/7 anymore. 8. Borderline personality disorder, feeling everything all the time. BPD is like living without emotional skin. Every feeling hits raw. A minor rejection feels like heartbreak. Affection feels like obsession. It's not manipulation, it's desperation. The fear of abandonment on repeat. The brain's emotional regulation system floods you with intensity, while your identity keeps shape-shifting to survive social tides. But there's strength in that sensitivity, empathy, depth, intuition. BPD isn't brokenness, it's emotional surround sound without a volume knob. 9. Eating disorders, when control becomes survival. Anorexia, bulimia, binge eating. They're not about vanity, they're about control. When life feels like chaos, the body becomes the one thing you can rule with precision. Inside, it sounds like this. If I can control what goes in, maybe I can control what comes out of my life. Food becomes currency, mirrors become courtroom judges, and hunger becomes both punishment and reward. The brain twists nourishment into negotiation. If I skip dinner, maybe I'll feel powerful again. But control is a mirage. The more you chase it, the smaller your world becomes, until meals, calories, and reflection replace joy, friends, and peace. And here's the heartbreaking paradox. It all starts as a way to survive, but recovery is when you realize that real control means letting go. Eating not to shrink, but to live again. You deserve food. You deserve space. You deserve to exist. 10. Dissociative identity disorder, the fractured narrative. DID isn't a movie plot. It's the mind's way of doing the impossible, surviving unbearable pain by dividing the load. When one version of you couldn't handle the trauma, the brain whispered, then I'll make another who can. Each identity, or alter, carries a piece of the story. One remembers the fear, another the anger, another the laughter. They're all fragments of one person, like shattered glass still reflecting the same light. Sometimes I wake up and the room feels familiar, but not mine, one might say. Sometimes I remember memories that don't feel like they belong to me. It's not madness, it's architecture. The mind builds walls, locks doors, and divides pain so the person inside can keep breathing. Therapy isn't about erasing anyone. It's about opening those doors slowly, gently, until every voice realizes we were never enemies, we were survival. 11. Capgras delusion, the imposter illusion. Capgras is the brain's most haunting prank. You look at your loved one, same face, same smile, but your emotions don't recognize them. The brain quietly panics. That looks like my wife, but my heart says she's gone. It's a disconnect between the visual and emotional circuits, logic and feeling suddenly on different radio stations. You sound like my mother, but you're not her. You act like my brother, but something's off. It's terrifying, and not because the person changed, but because your connection did. It's reality misfiled, a glitch in emotional recognition that turns love into uncertainty. And the person suffering? They're not cruel, they're confused. Their mind is protecting them from something it can't explain. Capgras teaches us one thing: even our deepest bonds depend on fragile wiring, and when that wiring frays, love itself can feel like a stranger. 12. Cotard's syndrome, the living ghost. And then there's Cotard's, the rare disorder where people believe they're dead. No, seriously. They might insist they have no organs, no blood, that they've decomposed. It's like depression cranked to cosmic levels. The brain disconnects from its own body so severely that existence itself feels like a rumor. The mind, in a twisted way, is trying to make sense of unbearable numbness. If nothing feels real, it decides you must not be either. Yet even here, treatment can bring people back. Proof that the human brain, no matter how lost, still hungers for life. So there you have it. 12 ways the human brain can turn itself inside out and somehow still function. Every disorder isn't a bug, it's a story. A different way the mind tries, and sometimes fail, to protect itself. We call them disorders, but they're really languages the brain speaks when words aren't enough. Your mind is not an enemy. It's an overcautious friend, a poetic machine, a symphony of chemicals trying to keep you alive in a confusing world. So the next time you feel like your thoughts are strange or heavy, remember, your brain is doing its best with the code it's been given. It's not perfect, but neither is reality. And somehow, against all odds, you're still here, beautifully, brilliantly, imperfectly human.